Hi, I'm Sam, the founder and CEO of the Midnimo Education Project. Here, our team has a conversation with Aicha Abdoulaye, a survivor of sexual violence. We cover her story of growing up in Niger around the practice of female genital mutilation/cutting, or FGMC, and her sister's experience of this practice. We also chat with her about her opinions on cultural competency, community advocacy measures, her personal experiences, legislative measures, healing, and our US-based initiatives, including mandated reporter course revision and encouraging medical interpreter certifications. A formal transcript of this interview is linked down below, and all information about our initiatives can be found on our social media pages. Please do not hesitate to contact us with any questions. Trigger warning. This interview contains discussions of child sexual assault, abuse, and gender-based violence on minors.
Let's do introductions.
Oh, yes.
I'm Alina Shear.
I'm Aicha Abdoulaye.
I'm Paley Holman-Kincaid.
And I'm Sam Ronchko-Pollan. So we had some questions for you, Aicha, about culture. First thing we can say is, what can allies start doing or stop doing in regards to addressing the culture that is associated with FGM?
Like I said earlier, when we went on record, I felt like what you guys are doing right now, you're doing the right thing. Looking for people from, let's say I'm from Niger, right? And then you want to advocate on FGM in Niger. You're talking to someone from Niger, and to learn about how to do the practices, how the culture is, and learn the terms to use so that you don't offend anybody. And also, if you're dealing with someone from Gambia, you find somebody from Gambia and talk to them. Don't generalize and assume that because FGM is everywhere in Africa and everywhere is the same practices. Even though it's the same problem, but it's a different way of the way people do it.
Yeah, different way of
addressing it. Yeah. That's all. Because the way the FGM is done in Niger and the way they treat women and the way they do it is completely different than the way they do it in Gambia. So we have to know what to know and how to learn the culture first, and then we find the people from that culture and then advocate or put them in the front. Do I make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, because some people want to advocate and they want to put themselves in front, but you have to put the real people. Do I make sense?
So we need real stories to help.
Stories, yes, to help. Yeah.
So are there any specific instances you've had where allies have been more or less culturally sensitive than you expected? Or have they done more damage?
I've heard of stories where allies, I've done or said things that are offensive, but not because they want to be offensive, it's just because they were so passionate about it and they just want to say certain things, but it doesn't mean that they did it on purpose. But it's just like people have to be sensitive, because remember, this culture has been there for years and they have a belief behind everything, right? Yeah. So you have to have a way of educating first, and then finding the natives to talk about it, because in Niger, in Gambia, there's always advocate. There's the people that are already advocating from this, even though their voice are not powerful or heard. You can find those people that can help you understand the specific situation of the where you're advocating. Because I don't know where you guys will go next if you choose. Are you trying to advocate only in the United States, or are you trying to travel out of the United States and advocate?
So right now we're trying to get our UN accreditation. So we are trying to expand outside of the US. Right now we are focusing California specifically because we live here, and then obviously we're going to college next year, so maybe we'll be able to branch out of the United States throughout the country and then further through the UN as well.
Yeah, that is awesome. I am very proud of you guys to start it now. And as you go, you're just going to learn as you go, to be honest with you. No matter what answers I gave you, no matter what I said, but I feel like the real learning is learning on the ground, right? And by doing. Yeah. And you will, because you obviously have the passion for it.
Thank you. Tying into that, what has been your experience with advocating about FGM right here in California, and how can we challenge the assumption that
this is only something that happens in Africa.
Yeah. So people forget that United States is a multicultural place, right?
Absolutely.
People from Africa move here, people from Chad, India, Asia move here. And when people move, they don't come and adopt the American culture, they bring their cultures with them. So which make it like, okay, they still practice their cultures here. Like I know a girl in New York that have to fight and even write to Obama so that they don't do FGM to her here because her family tried. She lived in New York because her family brought the culture here. So it's an assumption that it doesn't happen in the United States. It does happen in the United States. It's just like a child marriage. People think that child marriage doesn't happen in the United States, but it does happen also in the United States. So we just have to challenge it, like what you guys are doing now, and have real story be told because people travel internationally with their culture and it's practiced here. We just have to prove it to people that no, it does happen, right? With the real stories, just like what I'm telling you guys. What was the other question you said? Sorry.
Yeah, just what has been your experience?
Oh,
Did
my
you cover
experience.
that and like
Yeah.
how can we let people know basically that this is an issue that's in their communities also?
I mean, like interviews like this, advocating, social media presence, tweeting about it. Because right now, either we like it or not, the world is on social media. Like everybody is there, and we have to bring. And by lobbying and also advocating, like in Congress and different places, like talking to our constitution, like in California, about it, and then asking to speak in Congress with it and have. Write articles about it because that's the only way, you know. I mean, that's the ways that work so far for Tahiri. Using LinkedIn, like
Yes,
yeah, things like that.
So, actually, follow up on you were mentioning a lot of legislative action that could be taken through California. Would you say that, I guess, more punitive action, meaning that, I guess, people who carry out the practice would be penalized, like the practitioners? Or would you say that's more important than providing protective sort of measures, like medical care and that sort of thing?
Are you asking me if the practice is done by the medical practitioner?
No. I'm asking that should we have legislation that's like preventing the practice, or
definitely.
just more legislation that's oriented towards helping people who have already gone through the practice and providing medical care and that sort of stuff?
So not only medical care is needed, education is needed in different groups. Like if we can find churches, mosques, right?
Yeah.
People where culturally people go, right, to like to get together and praise God or whatever they have, and just have like clinics, right, to talk about it and educate people about it. That for me is start there. Then yes, legislatively we have to have laws that ban that completely, right? And also when we educate, hopefully people that carry out the practices will know that it's not needed, it's not necessary because they're educated, because they have their mentality and their mindset of why they do it. But with the education, let's say your group, right? I'll have clinics in like at the mosque or at a church, right? People will come and listen, you know, or make it like a woman event, right? People will come and listen, and then you will educate on that and tell them why it's very bad to do that to a young girl.
I think that's a really good idea because a lot of our awareness has really been focused on social media, like you said. So like having more like community-based events.
Yeah, I agree. Because we were looking to go to, I guess, more hospital-based events like women's health forums, but I think that community centers where people who might have gone through this practice or might be at
People
risk.
hide those things.
Yes, yeah.
People hide those things
Exactly.
To nurses because they know the nurses can call police or social worker. Like you have to go to the people, right? And educate about it and talk about it and also sensibilize, like tell them why it's very imperative, important that they don't do that to their young girls. Yeah.
I absolutely agree. I think on social media, if we're targeting like feminists, right, or people who care about women, we get caught in the echo chamber of people who say, of course, FGM is bad, and now we don't reach the people who don't think the same way. So
I mean, we can do both. I'm like, we should do social media, and also we should do in person in communities, and just like keep educating and sensible because that's important, right? And people have to be familiar to you to be open up to you. So you have to target community by community and be really resilient on your message and what you say, and that when they're familiar with you, they'll be open so that you can learn more. And people keep secret, like keeping secret in African culture, I can speak to that as like a virtue, even though it's killing you. So letting kids, young women know that you don't have to keep those kind of secret and be familiar with them, I feel like that would be an open place to start. Should do both.
I agree.
Thank you.
I guess I wanted to get your opinion on one of the initiatives that we're starting, which is updating mandated reporter trainings to include recognizing signs of FGMC. And I guess just how effective do you think it can be, and like what can we put in the courses to
Explain to me what that means when you say what you just said. What does that mean?
mandated reporter course?
Mandated report course. What does that mean?
So basically what they are is people like teachers and coaches and other instructors, coaches too, right?
Yeah, so anyone who works with kids or minors,
Yes.
they're mandated reporters, which means they're mandated by law to report child abuse. So
Yes. So
Yeah.
so the reason why I wanted to know the definition of that, and you remember earlier I spoke about a secret.
yes,
I don't know, but I feel like kids or young adults, you have a coach or teacher, you will want at home not to open up to them unless the kid is very rebellious, like I was, and say, "Well, I need help." I will tell someone. Usually, kids that really go through that, they can't open up. They may open up to a psychologist,
But probably not to another figure.
another teacher, or just a teacher or a coach. They need to be, unless the coach is like, show them that I'm your friend or I'm here to help you. You know, it's difficult to open up. Because I know personally when I was sexually abused by my uncle when I was 8 years old until I'm like 12, I couldn't open up to nobody. Because my uncle told me if I open up to nobody, it's a shame on me, right? And the culture support that. So if the culture support that, how can you go to a teacher and say, "Oh, this is happening. There's a shame. Like there's a shame that comes with all of those things, and it's not easy to open up, like easily, for someone that a survivor or of course a victim of sexual abuse or GFM, is so hard to just open up to people that you do day-to-day activity with, unless those people are really close to you and know you understand. Maybe pastors, like maybe a pastor that
pastors are mandated
pastors or
reporters.
imams.
Yes, they're all mandated
Okay,
reporters.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Or therapist. Yes.
Yes.
Good. So yes, the answer is yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it would help. So I took the training to scope out what the course covered to find out if it covered FGMC or not. And so I took the childcare providers training, which is like, I guess, infants and kids who are really young, so like toddlers. And I guess part of like the daycare sort of stuff is like changing their diapers and that sort of stuff. There was nothing on the physical signs of FGM specifically. There was physical signs of sexual abuse, like molestation, all of that. Nothing on FGM. So would you think that would help?
Yes, it will definitely help.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. Now that I understood the question better, I would definitely. Yes, it will help.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think also like what you're saying with shame, I think for older children, I think these courses can help these childcare providers to know the signs and if they suspect, and prod those kids and know the right questions to ask to make them feel that they can open up.
Yes,
Because just any even if they mean well, not all coaches, teachers are sensitive about these issues, and some things they might say might make them feel like they cannot open up to them. So I think it's very important.
Yeah.
I did want to know, I guess, building off the mandated reporter thing. So a lot of healthcare workers are also mandated reporters, pretty much all of them. So all nurses, all CNAs, all like medical assistants, et cetera, et cetera. So what discrepancies have you noticed in healthcare in terms of that sort of treatment and I guess them recognizing the signs? if you've noticed any.
I mean, it depends on the hospital. Because I can take an example of my kid, and it depends on the hospital. If the hospital or the area is well-funded hospital, right? I feel like people are more prone, available to notice, right? And say, but sometimes the hospital in certain areas or certain neighborhood, nobody really have time to pay attention. I feel like I'm speaking from experience, right? Because I saw with my son, we used to go to certain hospital, and people, when I came and I said, oh, he have fever, he needs to get this treatment. They were like, oh, look at him, he looks good, he needs to go home. First because he's black, and second because they think black people are resistant to pain. So it depends on the hospital. Let me just say that, yeah. It depends on the hospital. So I feel like, yes, some hospital would be able to recognize the signs and help, but some, I don't know, because in the United States, let's be clear and honest, it's not every area and every citizen get right access to the right places to be treated.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe we can segue into, like, of course, your personal experience advocating for FGM. What would you say, like, maybe gave you the courage to speak about this thing, and how would you, like, what advice would you give to others, survivors and just advocates in general, on how to properly get your voice heard?
I mean, to me personally, I watched my sister, like, when I was younger, like, this is the age of 11 or so, like, I saw how they forced my sister to, so this is how it happened in the village where we were. My mom took us to, like, a vacation slash, like, summertime, to this, like, they organized it like a cultural big moment thing for young girls to go to adulthood.
Like a rite of passage?
Yes, rite of passage.
Okay.
I think so. That's what I was mentioning earlier. That every culture does it different. Every people does it different. So they make it like, oh my God, this is your moment. You're gonna go to this big thing that they're gonna. And I was excited, like, to go visit the village, because I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Like, oh, I'm getting big. You know how when you were younger, you wanna. And we get to the village, and the day that come, like, every young girl from every village was coming together. They will have like cooking and women dancing and singing, right, to bring all the young kids to this event. Then when the event itself started, like, what I saw, I can hear girls screaming to the lung, like, to the top of their lungs. And I'm next to this because I didn't have an idea. And my mother didn't prepare me that they're gonna literally touch you and cut a piece of meat on your body and throw it, and people will clap and scream like you did something good, but it's something hurtful. So when I heard the scream, my sister was shaking, she was scared, and all the older kids goes first, then the younger kids, And I'm like, no, I'm not doing. My sister went. I hear her screaming, yelling, crying, being in pain. I ran away. I didn't know this village, mind. We visited it. I just ran away from it. I ran away. They looked for me all day, and I was hiding, like, in the next village, because I was literally terrified and scared, because I saw, like, 5 girls go screaming, yelling, blood, pipes coming out, and it was a man that was doing this. Not even another woman. I'm like, no. So I didn't know, but I saw my sister suffer, and as soon as I saw my sister, that was a clue for me. I didn't even know what happened. I just black out and start running for my life. And when I saw that, and after I saw how my sister suffered from it, how much blood she lost, how she never was the same since then. So I just like, no, when I came here, I started talking about it. I'm supposed to do more about it, but instead about FGM, but instead I want more on sexual violence, because that's what really happened to me personally. But FGM is about my sister. That was what prompted me to start talking about FGM. That's what prompted me to talk about a little bit of it, but I speak more about forced marriage and sexual violence. But yeah, that's my cue to advocate for me. So that's why I'm so happy that you guys are doing this, because that's going to change your life, because my sister actually went through the same. And she ended up dying. She ended up passing away.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry.
So did you, as soon as like this happened, not like as soon as that happened, but like recently after that, were you feeling like I should speak out, or was it later in your life that you
No,
felt
it's the
like,
later. It's the later in my life, because when I was in Africa, in Niger, I was dealing with a lot beside that, right?
Yeah.
I was always like a physically, my stepmom like beating me. If you look at my face, you see so many marks. My legs, so many marks. Like there was abuse in my home, and then also the sexual violence growing up, and all of that. And I didn't have a language to even know that what was happening to me was wrong, because I didn't have a language. I started having language mindly when I was about 20, when I started going to Taiwan and started working with Taiwan and having Taiwan Justice Center and having like a therapist and telling my story. She gave me all the language about, oh, this wasn't right. Your uncle did that. That was a sexual violence. This wasn't right. Oh, that was FGM. It was just, oh, that happened to you. Oh, that was a trafficking. That's what's not happened to you. So I didn't have language, because it was normal, because most of the people where I grew up I was living that. There's no way I would speak against it then. I started speaking about it once in the US and once I started working for Thailand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that ties in really well to one of our other initiatives about finding interpreters medically for people to get the language.
Yesterday I wrote that down. I read that on the email you sent me, and I'm like, can I be a medical interpreter?
Yeah,
Can I do that? I think I can do that. That I can make a bigger difference. Like in that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm interested on that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little more about that?
Yeah, so the program we're funding, so there's two ways to get certified through two different organizations. The problem with those organizations is it makes it really accessible requirement-wise. You only need to be 18 and have a GED. But it costs a lot of money. It's $530 for certification,
Oh my God.
and then $330 every 2 to 4 years, depending on the certification you get. So not only is it kind of like a time commitment to do the courses and then take the exam, it's also a money commitment.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for something that's supposed to be accessible.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're doing is I teach fine arts to kids, so I use that to fund this program that we're running.
Yeah.
So we completely pay for all of the certification requirements, including the exam, the $530 plus $330. And then we also pay for the portion where you're supposed to get trained with the coursework.
Cool.
So yeah.
How long is this training?
So the training itself, I think it's about 35 hours. So as long as you complete the required, like, I think it's about 4 courses,
Okay.
that and then prove that you are proficient in both the language you're interpreting in and English.
I speak 9 languages, by the way.
Wow.
I'm serious. I do. I like it, but it's just yeah. But it's most of it are like so my mom is from Togo and my dad from Niger. I grew up between Togo and Niger, and so yeah, I all the dialects spoken in Togo, all the dialects spoken in Niger, English and French. You know.
Oh, that's incredible.
That's awesome. So yeah, so with this course, I mean, the potential in California specifically is pretty, like, you can earn a lot of money for being a medical interpreter, and it is really flexible. Like, you can either do volunteer work or you can do part-time, you can do contract.
It's way better than the jobs I do now.
You can do part-time, you can do contract, or you can be a full salaried employee through a hospital.
Oh, wow.
So as long as you get certified, it
Yeah.
boosts your chances up from like 50% to 100% that you'll definitely get employed.
Definitely, because you see, with me personally and my life, like I've been through a lot in life, and I feel like I overcome so much and become an other side of it. And because of my faith and the love that my mom raised me with, even though she did some mistakes, I feel like I'm able to, I want to do jobs that are rewarding, like what you guys are doing. That's why I work with Taiwan Justice Center and volunteer and do all the things that I do with them. I would love to do something like that, just like to give back, because it would make me happy to interpret. I'm trying to learn Spanish, you know.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a huge shortage of medical interpreters in the state. There's like 39.4 million people living here,
Wow.
and there's 738. interpreters.
Definitely gonna look
So,
into it.
yeah.
So the next thing we wanted to ask about was, I guess in terms of supporting survivors, there's a lot of different routes to go, and I think it's important to explore like multiple routes, but we were just wondering where should we be trying to direct people's focus, because there's healthcare and trying to connect survivors with medical professionals, but then there's also like therapy through art or just informing more therapists in general. Like, what has personally helped you?
Personally, I felt like what helped me was community, right? And therapy and music. So like I remember when I was molested with my uncle and my sister's situation happened, when FGM, all the things happened. I went to clubs and danced all the time, even though it was not permitted. We hide when everybody's sleeping and fly the wall and go out to club and dance and just music dancing. That's why until today I still do Zumba as exercise. As the exercise I would do and I will not be there. I think music is important. Healthcare is important, like because there's an assumption that when people are here and they are immigrants, they get access to everything, but no, illegal immigrants doesn't have access to the healthcare. So healthcare is so important, but also through music, through therapy, and through community, it really do help. I think that's things that really helped me personally.
Do you think there's any like, I guess, particular initiatives that like groups like us, advocacy groups, could do, since like music and community tend to be a very personal experience that you find on your own and tend to be very self-driven?
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything like we can do as a group to like help create that?
I mean, as a group, we can do classes like Zumba classes, right? We can also go to churches and see if we can bring food and be part of whatever they do on Sunday and get people to talk to us, right? With a therapy, right? We can talk to a group of therapists, right, and see if they can create courses or something that we can suggest to people whatever to use, because it's trust first, then other people, other things will come. We can create other things that they can, but we need a trust first.
Very true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we can introduce them to Zumba class, the arts, the music, all of that. I think is healing.
Yeah, so
those things really
yeah.
help me. Go ahead.
us three, we're all really artsy people. Like I have
I'm
played.
so bad at art.
I've played violin for the past 13 years. Haley is
Wow.
theater.
Yeah, I've
Of
been
course.
doing theater for like
Wow,
12
you are a
years.
superstar. Like I can see it in your eye that you are theater. Like you are like like I can feel that. That's good, and I can see arts. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So we wanted to do more initiatives where we're like teaching people how to do like theater and
Yeah,
like
sure.
fine arts. Like I've learned 9 instruments, so I can teach all of them.
Wow.
So I was thinking like, would that be like a viable thing to do at churches and
Oh, yeah.
mosques or community
Oh yeah,
organizations?
definitely. You know, Baha'is, we have also like an outreach that we do at the parks where we do arts and kids come. I feel like, have you participated in any? Oh yeah, not yet. Like we go to the parks and then we have like art and music playing and different games things to do in any neighborhood, and kids will just naturally come. And through art they'll be talking to somebody that is professional, that will be asking questions to the kids, and we'll learn so much about their families and everything right there and then, you know. So it's important like to do that. And more you do that, instead of losing, know people know that, oh, these people are just here to help us. So people come and open up and we find healing and community like that. So it's a good thing.
That's wonderful to hear.
You guys are on such a good track and you're doing the right thing.
We're excited, I think, to like connect with people a little bit more. We've been doing a lot of like administrative stuff, legislative stuff, but yeah, I think we should really get into the community here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here to help in any way I can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. A pretty big question that we were thinking about in the pre-interview was, are there any harmful myths or stereotypes about FGMC outside of the lack of awareness between individual cultures?
I didn't see yet, but you guys can go like on TikToks, there's a lot of people that talk about FGMC and learn about that. I don't know, honestly, I'm not sure. I know the myths at least, but the other big stuff. I know a woman, she's an actress, she's a Baha'i too. She traveled to Ghana, right? And went to the hospital where women survivors of FGM were. And one person that was with her said certain things to say things like, how can you let them do that to you? Like you cannot say that. Like yes, it's not right, but she's in the culture. It's not. We can blame the victims, right? Like
So,
we can,
yeah.
like not blaming the victim, being compassionate about their mentality and why they allow that to happen to them. You can't say no when a whole village is doing it. Like you can just be the only one that won't listen, right?
So the implication that it's a choice.
It's a choice, exactly.
big-
That's why people
Yeah.
like that. Oh, why don't you tell a police officer? Why don't
Yeah.
you seek for help? Well, it's not easy like here. Not everybody's corrupt. Most people are corrupt in those societies here. So being compassionate to the victims, I think, is a big thing, especially when you travel out of United States, maybe even here, right? And getting them to trust you so you can know the real story.
Absolutely.
Should we conclude it here?
Yeah, anything
Yes.
else? Anything
Anything
you
else
feel
I
like
want to say?
you want to talk about?
I just want to say that I am really proud of you guys as three female, the different backgrounds, sitting here and doing the good for the world is a good service. I am so happy. Like I know you guys and I've been sitting in your midst, so you're doing a great thing and you're on a great path. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing the right thing. I think I'm so proud of you guys, honestly.
That means a lot.
And hopefully one day we will bring so much awareness that every young girl in every corner of the world will say, my body is my choice. Yeah. Because they have to understand that. But so many doesn't know that yet.
Thank you so much.